So you guys can raise your hands and I'll start picking. Nick, you can go first.
Hi, Soren. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Thanks so much for your time. Good to see you back on the LCS stage. I just, want to keep it easy. Ask you just, how do you feel about your individual play so far through these first 2 games?
I thought it was not as good as I would like it to be. Could be worse. Yeah, I think my laning was decent. I think mid to late game in the Victor game, I could have played a lot better, especially the 2 really key team fights that we lost. So that's always gonna really sting. So yeah, I think lots of good things to take away from me. I'm not super down on how I played. I've also been and still am very sick with COVID for like a week, so I haven't been able to practice as much as I would like. Which is of course going to lead to a little bit worse play, but I think I still played okay, and I know that I'll keep improving.
Okay, next question comes from Michael Kelly from Body Sports.
Thank you so much. Hey, Bjergsen, glad to see you again as well. The biggest thing that I am interested in knowing coming into the 2022 season is regarding your transition back to the playing side of the scene. I'd like to know what sort of insight or knowledge can you take from your time as a coach that you can apply with a new lens to your playing career?
I think through watching so many games from the outside all of last year, both with my team, and I found more time to just watch other teams play as well. I think that my vision of the game is a lot clearer, and that I know much better what kind of resources I need and what I need to better carry. I'm not going to be telling everyone what to do in the game, but I think carries really need to be able to be vocal about what kind of support and setup and vision and all these things that they need and where they should be to maximize farm and maximize damage and all these things. And I think that I'm coming in with a much clearer picture for myself on what that looks like. And through time working with my teammates, I think that we will share that vision. And also just the time off has just motivated me to be a lot more excited and I think have more fun with playing again, because I got to take a little bit of a break. I actually didn't expect how rejuvenated I would feel from the break, but it actually feels much better playing now that I've taken a year off, because I'm just looking at things with a new lens, and I'm excited again more than I was when I played 8 years in a row.
The next question comes from Jay.
Hey, Bjergsen. First, I hope you're feeling a lot better, and I'm so excited that you're returning. I know a lot of people are. So one of the big things. Oops, sorry, I didn't. So one of the big things for you this year is a reunification with your former TSM teammate in Santorin. How's it been working with him again and the other members of Team Liquid?
Working with Santorin has been really, really nice. I mean, I kept up with him over the years, so we stayed friends, and I think that we have both changed a lot since 2015. I think we both matured and changed a lot, so I think the relationship is much better than it was back then. And he's definitely the guy on the team that I have talked the most to, because mid jungle, of course, we need to play together and play well together. So we duo queue a lot, we talk a ton about the game, and it's just been a joy working with him. And yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Ethan Garcia, Body Sports.
Hi, Bjergsen. Thanks for coming on with us and speaking to us. We're all very excited to see you back on the LCS stage after so long. 2 years does feel like quite a while. So in the short time that you've been with Team Liquid, and this is including scrims, playing outside on your own time, and also these last 2 days as part of the lock-in, what kind of role do you see yourself in the team thus far? Do you feel that you're back in that leader role that you were as part of TSM, or are you kind of trying to find your groove as part of the veterans that now consist on this TL roster?
I'm definitely one of the leaders on the team. there doesn't have to just be one leader. I think that we're all leaders in different ways and different aspects of the game. And the aspects where I feel strongly or that I have a good view, I'll speak up. And then other times, other people are much smarter around certain things related to the game or related to draft or related to how we practice, and then they will speak up. We do have a lot of voices on this team, obviously, through all the experience, and a lot of our players have had to be leaders on many different teams. So we have a lot of voices, and that's something that's going to need a little bit of time to truly kind of unify. But I think that's what is going to make us so much better than everyone else once we get some time to fully integrate.
Thank you so much, and feel better.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Pedro the Click.
Hey, Bjergsen. With respect to your entire career, you've been a part of many respective teams, many championship level teams. And with this team, many people are seeing it as that same level. And so in what way does this team, does this current team in TL differentiate itself from all of your other teams in terms of like talent level and synergy?
It's hard to say, right? Because it's so early that we haven't been able to build that synergy yet. I think the talent is there, and if we're able to play at the highest level, it's the best roster that I've been on. But in terms of synergy, of course, it's not going to be nearly as good as a team that I played with for a year and a half or 2 years. Maybe at the end of the year it will, and I hope and believe that it will. That's what me and the team is working towards right now.
Next question from Kenny from Upcoming.
Hi, Bjerg. Thanks for your time. Hope you're feeling better. I have a question more related about that's more meta-wise. I saw you play a lot of Akshan in Korea while you were boot camping, and now we saw the pick in yesterday's games. Do you have any general thoughts about the champion? Should it be ran mid? Should it be ran top? Without revealing too much, of course. Thank you.
Yeah, I played. I think I went 0 wins, 10 losses on Akshan in Korea.
Yeah.
But actually, recently when I've been playing him when I was in Europe for Christmas, and recently my Akshan has improved a lot. But it is a very hard champion to play, so it was really, really tough in the beginning. And I think that's why we haven't seen him that much yet, is it's a really, really hard champion to play. And a lot of these other champions like Victor and Corky, you can play an average game, or you can not be at your best and you can still have game impact. I think if you want to play Akshan, you need to be on top of your game, and you need to play exceptionally well and very clean in every skirmish in the laning phase. And if you make mistakes, the champion becomes useless very fast, as we saw when Perks played it in LEC. So it is a champion that's really hard to execute, but I think the champion has potential, both in mid lane and top lane. Maybe even AD carry, I'm not exactly sure, but maybe as we see people getting a lot more games on this champion, and maybe the meta shifts slightly, we might start to see him more. I'm not 100% sure.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Next question from Jordan on esports.gg.
Maybe given how well Team Liquid's academy players and other academy players have been playing, do you think this opens the door for like future lock-in tournaments that would include both main rosters and academy teams, like if it logistically can happen?
Maybe, yeah. It might not be too bad of an idea. I think the only thing is that a lot of academy players are playing in this tournament due to visa issues or delays or all these things. So it's going to be hard to actually put 2 full rosters together. I think every org is struggling to even put their full roster together. So in that sense, Lock In is also buying a bit of time for everyone to come in. So I think that would be the only downside, I guess, is that it wouldn't be able to field the full LCS team and the full academy team. If that was possible, I think it would be cool, because Lock In doesn't have any impact on the season, and seeing academy players and academy teams play, I think is always good exposure for them. And it's been good exposure for all the academy players playing so far. I think Jan and Ayla both showed really good games on stage for us. So
Yeah, thank you for your time.
All right, last question from Pedro from the Click.
Hey, I'd like to know your thoughts on working with Giloto? I mean, obviously considering that you were a coach in TSM last year, and so I'd like to know how's it been working with him as a sort of like a pseudo leader slash like type of player.
That was one of my worries going back to playing, is that if I had a really bad coach, it would probably be very frustrating because I would want to do both. Not that I was an amazing head coach, but so I was really happy we got to Gilhoto, because he's just one of the few coaches that were available in the scene that I feel like I actually trust. And I talked to him a lot before we picked him up, and I've talked to him a ton since we picked him up, and we talk pretty much on a daily basis. I think I have some perspectives from being a head coach myself, and sometimes they're right and sometimes they're wrong. But I think when we discuss these things, Andre and hopefully we're both learning, and then we're taking the best from both of us and then putting it into the team. So from everything working with him so far, I've been really happy, and I like him a lot.
All right, that completes our scrum. Thank you, Bjergsen, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys.